All right, we've got a politics roundup, Reddit politics roundup for February for November 17th. Trump and aides immediately attack clerk after gag order is paused, from the New York Times. Allison Greenfield has become a lightning rod for the former president and his allies, who say a civil fraud case against him is political persecution. It is. Appeals court judge. This is the most interesting thing that Reddit has to offer. This is the top post. A New York appeals court judge on Thursday paused gag orders on Trump and his lawyers that had prevented them from commenting on court staff in the civil fraud trial of the former president. A civil fraud trial. The order against Mr. Trump was issued on the trial's second day. Okay, twice violated the order based. Okay, that's what else. Challenged both of those orders in an appeals court, and on Thursday, the appellate judge paused them after an hour-long oral argument. That's probably a good idea. Earlier this month, posted on social media attacking Ellison. That's pretty good. They don't link the tweet. Oh, they do link the tweet. What's it say? Pretty good. Yeah, I like it. Cool. Nice. Politically biased and out of control. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, there's really, is that an attack? Protect everyone, including the president. See, perfect. This is a whole lot. This is sound and fury signifying nothing. So thank you, New York Times, for this groundbreaking journalism. I'm glad I learned so much. Tough on leaks in Trump election interference case. The Fulton County okay, so this is not an election interference case. This is a RICO trial. This is a fucking Georgia RICO trial. Here. That's a RICO law. Targeting organized criminal activity and racketeering. So they're alleging that Trump was running a mob, literally running a criminal organization. And it's not an election interference case. It is a RICO trial. He is not charged with election interference. He is charged with RICO. Let's see. Asked C to block further access to documents. What? And defendants prior. What? Leak was clearly intended to intimidate witnesses in this case, subjecting them to harassment and threats before trial. The court has had an interest in ensuring that all parties retain their right to a fair trial before an unbiased jury. What? Should the public be allowed to vet every piece of unfiltered evidence months before trial? Oh, yeah, okay. That's interesting. Sensitive materials. It's great. Let's withhold information from the public. All right, whatever. More motivated to stop Trump than to support president. Okay, so yeah, nobody likes Biden. Americans inclined to vote for Biden in the election say they are more motivated by stopping Trump than returning from. Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no one likes Biden. That's pretty telling. That's funny. Credibility interval of about 4 percentage points. Being against Trump and his policies, which they don't know anything about. Is the front runner for the Republican? Yep. Yep. All right. Thank you, Reuters. It's hard-hitting journalist. Trump instantly lashes out at court clerk as soon as gag order is lifted. Okay. The Independent.co.uk. instantly lashes out. Launched a fresh tirade on both the judge and the court clerk in his New York civil fraud trial just hours after a gag order banning him from criticizing court personnel was paused. Okay. All right. Mr. Trump had already violated the gag order twice. Based. All right, this is horseshit. You're going to get us all killed. That's what's MSNBC have to say about their competitor. A new lawsuit sheds Fred. This is the hard-hitting stuff. This is what America needs to worry about right here. This is really interesting things. These are really interesting things that the public should be aware of. A new lawsuit sheds fresh light on how this totally isn't a gossip rag. Former Fox News producer Jason Donner is suing the network, alleging that he was fired for challenging its coverage of the 2020 election. Wait, hold on. It's fucking just... My brain just glazed over. Let's read this again. Propaganda machine works from the inside at the same time that the network is trying to extract even more from cable news subscribers. Former They Won't Talk About CNN Plus, alleging that he was fired for challenging its coverage. Let's see. Unearthed via the legal system showing that Fox News operates as a propaganda outlet. Yeah, that's a really... They weren't going to fucking win that. There's no fucking way. The clearinghouse of misinformation. Alright, yeah, they lost the Dominion suit, which, there's no way they'd win. Cool. I don't care. The Economist names Trump biggest danger for 2024 by Axios. I don't know anything about Axios. Prevents the world's biggest danger. See, British newspaper. Oh, they're okay. So they've been around for 180 years, and that means they can't lie about anything. It's impossible for them to lie. Said a second Trump term would be a watershed in a way the first one was not, and the fate of the world will depend on the ballots. What? Okay, so hold on. So the position of The Economist is that a second Trump term would be a watershed in a way that the first was not. And the fate of the world will depend on... What? The fate of the world? Okay, for Trump would be more damaging than his previous term. Well, his previous term wasn't damaging. So, okay, I guess it could. Would rejoice over the evidence that that the American democracy is dysfunctional. What? What the fuck? Okay, there's no evidence supporting this. Would have an incentive to fight on Ukraine and to pick off former Soviet countries such as... He doesn't have an incentive to fight on in Ukraine currently. This doesn't make any sense. He found incentive to fight in Ukraine under President Biden. So why would an election of a different individual be more incentive to fight on? I don't understand this logic. The greatest threat Trump poses. People, they write these things and they don't expect you to think it through, because this is meant to be read by people. The intended audience of this this sort of journalism, if you want to call it that, are people who they don't... They're partisan. They don't really think about their positions, and they believe whatever they're told by institutions that have been regarded as somehow having integrity. The greatest threat Trump is to his own country. The moral authority of the U.S. will have voted him in while knowing... What? That doesn't make any fucking sense. Trump will wage war on any institution that stands in his way. Based... former president. There is no information. Across 4 separate jurisdictions, repeatedly made. Okay, a witch hunt, and they are literally that. That's literally what they are. Pulling far ahead any of his GOP competitors. It's because they've turned a billionaire into an underdog, which is the greatest mishandling of any propaganda war I've ever seen. turned the fucking former president into a billionaire former president into an underdog. That's insane. What a huge fucking... America loves criminals, and they especially love criminal underdogs. You've turned the president into a criminal underdog. A New York Times poll, yep. Trust Biden, yeah, because he's a giant pile of dog shit. They should just let him win. They should just let him win the second term. This is such a giant blunder. What? Okay. Senate Republicans get ready to roll Tuberville on military holds. Let's see what this is. Republican senators are laying the groundwork to vote before Christmas on a Democratic drafted resolution to circumvent the blockade that Alabama... okay. Oh, yeah. Okay. Mike Lee spilled into public view. Lindsey Graham's a giant pile of dog shit. To bring in hundreds of military promotions to be confirmed en bloc if by Christmas. This is retarded. Yeah, Graham's a fucking turncoat. He should be, he should fall down a long flight of stairs because he's old and frail. The Senate Republican aide said that support within the GOP conference now appears to be shifting toward changing Senate procedure. Oh, cool. Let's change procedure again. Hey, let's change procedure again, just like we did for Supreme Court justices, and really shoot ourselves in the fucking foot like a giant bunch of retards. Let's just do that again. Wonderful job. Good job. These people are more intelligent than us. I don't care. The biggest danger to the world. All right. Let's see if there are any. Oh, I can't. Okay, well, I'm not going to pay money to The Economist. Is. Let's do this. There we go. Awesome. In this week's edition, we published The World Ahead 2024, our 38th annual predictive guide. Mr. Trump dominates the Republican primary. Several polls have him ahead of President Joe Biden in swing states. A perilous moment for a man like Mr. Trump to be back knocking on the door of the... Holy fucking shit, this is the most awful prose I've ever read. Democracy is in trouble at home. What a... Dude, this is made to be read by fucking 10th graders. This is the target audience for this is like fucking high school kids. Mr. Trump's claim to have won the election was more than a lie. It was a cynical bet that he could manipulate and intimidate his compatriots, and it has worked. Okay, whatever. Okay, so they are now outlining in this sentence why people want him reelected is because we have seen what the Uniparty has to offer, and it is more of the same. More war, more dysfunction, and we had 4 years of relatively no war and not really a whole lot of dysfunction until a virus broke out in 2020. That was crazy. That was weird. It was so crazy. Wow. Okay, yep. All right, those 3 countries loosely coordinate with their... all right. Because MAGA Republicans have been planning a second term for months, Trump 2 would be more organized than Trump 1. Thank God. Thank Jesus. I could only hope. What? Yeah, because they won't have a bunch of turncoats in their fucking pockets. This is all great news. If this is true, this is awesome. As his own country, having won back power, and his gut feeling that only losers lives. What? I guess maybe. I don't know if that's true. That's an unsubstantiated claim. Well, okay, cool. Yeah, so awesome. Profound effect abroad would rejoice over the evidence that the American democracy is dysfunctional. So this conclusion and this declaration don't make they don't jive with each other. They don't make sense internally. Because if Trump is a ruthless man who is willing to wage war against his enemies, China is one of his biggest enemies. He really doesn't like the idea that we have shipped manufacturing abroad. Really doesn't like that idea. And so I don't see what China would be happy about here. Due process and civil rights in the United States, he literally won't do that. Okay, but our diplomats proclaiming them abroad are already disingenuous. They're already liars. They already look like fools. You know, people do not regard Americans as they used to. We are not really thought of very highly globally because we have basically been tyrannical for the past 80 years. You know, the Bretton Woods Accords were a way to bribe people to buy into the American system, and then we turned around and basically trashed the Middle East. I mean, we collapse any sort of upcoming nation that threatens our fiat currency. I mean, we are not great people. Would be left unbounded too. Let's see. His planes would be more damaging. What? Hold on. What the fuck? Would be more. Contemplating universal terms. Oh, base. Thank God. Would increase prices for Americans. I guess, but maybe it would, but the prices have already increased. You're trying to say that after imports have already been curbed, that they're going to go up higher after all of the curbing has happened under President Biden? Maybe, because of the collapse of the Chinese supply chain, that imports are starting to fall. I don't know. Cutting taxes and handing out COVID-19 payments. Okay, and maybe this is true, but Biden did the same thing. Is the COVID-19 payments, budget deficits on a scale? No, we were running budget deficits before. Would feed inflation, not growth. Okay, whatever. So hold on. So we're gonna keep the guy in power that caused us to be in this bad situation? I guess. Provide weapons to Ukraine. Peace deal between Israel. Oh wow, so he was trying to get Israel to kind of bend the knee to Muslims? Raising their defense spending became more hawkish. Trump's indifference to human rights, motherfucker. The Uniparty never gave a shit about human rights. The world has changed. What? What the fuck is all this? This is retarded. This is the most retarded thing I've ever read. There are no good arguments. This is all unsubstantiated horseshit. What? Send blood and treasure in Europe is a bad deal. Hold on. He is therefore threatened to end the Ukraine war in a day. Excuse me? Hold on. Donald Trump has threatened to end the Ukraine war in a day. The mind boggles. This man believes that he can end one of the worst conflicts in recent history in a day, and that's a bad thing. And to wreck NATO. alright. Sure, back Israel without reserve, like literally every, like literally all of the Uniparty. Okay. To abandon Taiwan. Okay, he's gonna do a deal with China's president and abandon Taiwan. Okay. Holy fucking shit, these people are literally retarded. This is so stupid. Would have an incentive to fight on. Wait, hold on. Would abandon Europe, fight on in Ukraine to pick off. Maybe. Without generate an internal consensus for peace talks with Palestinians. Wow, this is. I just cannot fathom an article like this. This is just so stupid. This is just wrong. It's a bunch of horseshit. It's a bunch of misconclusions. It's not based in reality whatsoever. Cool. George Santos is a retard. I don't really care. He's a retard. Whatever. Expert accountant couldn't even ballpark it when asked if he's charging for his testimony. Maybe he doesn't know. This doesn't matter. I really don't care. Officer reported Trump to run. Okay. Oh, awesome. Don't just be horrified. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and we're just gonna go over here, and we're gonna do that, and I can read this. Thank you. Even the best written accounts cannot fully convey the carnage of mass shootings. Okay. Alright. I guess. I mean, sure. Why not? The frequency and lethality of massacres on U.S. soil numb society to the moral outrage of slaughtered innocents. This is actually decent prose. The frequency and lethality of massacres on U.S. soil numb society to the moral outrage of slaughtered innocents. Most of the frequency of killings in the United States come from inner city gang violence committed with handguns and suicides committed with handguns. So society is numb to the massacres because the massacres are happening to people that have been forsaken by society. Grandmothers typically don't mourn the loss of a gangbanger, and that's the truth of the matter. You know, we can debate the moral ethics of such a phenomenon, but the numbness, the indifference to the slaughtered innocents, if you want to say that, comes from who's being slaughtered and the circumstances that the slaughtering happens under. Now, if we want to talk about widely publicized mass killing events committed with different sorts of rifles, sometimes handguns, so on and so forth, that has a ton of moral outrage that everyone is aware of. So a little bit of conflation going on here. Documented the carnage. Yep. Okay, the latest installment. Gut-wrenching images. A bunch of murder porn. Okay. The destructive force of the AR-15 in a way that words fail to do. Well, what's interesting is they won't publish any images from any of the recent wars that have been waged with AR-15s, you know, abroad in the Middle East, so on and so forth. They won't publish those images, and that's because these media organizations are pawns of the Uniparty. They endorse these wars. They don't want bad publicity on these wars, and so they will not show coverage of these wars. However, since they are pawns of the DC Uniparty, what they will do is they will widely publicize these mass killing events. And the reason why they widely publicize these mass killing events is, one, it's good for the bottom line. People click on the links. They want to look at the murder porn. They want to hear, they want outrage. It sells. But since they're pawns of the DC Uniparty, they are trying to further the goal of the DC Uniparty to disarm American citizens. Media organizations like the Washington Post directly benefit from widely publicized mass killing events. They don't give a shit about any of that. That's all disingenuous. Embrace stringent gun control only. Yeah, I agree with this. Yeah, we shouldn't have any politicians doing that. Excuse me. I hope this guy doesn't get reelected. I hope he loses to a Republican who keeps guns. Yep. Hold on. No community is safe from a determined shooter with an AR-15. I want you to think about this proclamation. No community is safe from a determined shooter with an AR-15. Think about this. So, I just, this is wrong, for one thing. There are several communities where you will not see determined shooters with AR-15s because they are safe. We're talking about prisons. Prisons are safe. Shooting ranges. You'll never see a determined shooter with an AR-15 at a shooting range. Police stations are safe. Trying to think. Like anywhere you'd see a large amount of law enforcement or, anyone with a gun. A bunch of people having guns is where you will not see determined shooters with AR-15s. These communities are safe from determined shooters with AR-15s because they are armed. And not only are they armed, they are in the cultural zeitgeist is armed. It's not even that they're armed, it's that they're perceived as armed by people who want to do mass killing events. And the reason you see mass killing events at schools, bowling alleys, theaters, malls, these are areas where the mass killer has conceptualized. I can't talk. Has thought of these areas as where weak Americans are, prey Americans, Americans that they can shoot and kill, and they won't face a lot of bullets firing back at them because these are no gun places, no gun zones. So there are communities safe from a determined shooter with an AR-15. We're talking about prisons, shooting ranges, law enforcement centers, sheriff's offices, anywhere you see a bunch of people with guns. Gun shows are really safe from determined shooters with an AR-15. Let me tell you, I have never heard of a mass killing at a fucking gun show. So if you want to be safe from a fucking crazed gunman, I would go to a gun show. Let's see. Never before released pictures. That's excellent. Travis Shrewsbury recalled 2 investigators that he noticed upon entering a classroom. A bunch of blood. Let's see. The speed of its small light bullets make the AR-15 especially deadly, tearing apart organs. I guess any fucking gun can do that, I guess. Let's see. This is true. See, high-capacity magazines also enable mass killing. That's not necessarily true. I mean, I guess so, but I guess sure, but that's not why they you're gonna have mass killings without high-capacity magazines. Shows 65 unspent rounds. Where the gunman hold on, wait. He fired 450 rounds? How many fucking reloads did this guy have? He had 15 reloads? There were 15 instances where you could have popped a cap into this idiot. Because I'm pretty sure maybe this guy is a world record reloader. But 15 reloads? Jeez. Okay. Pile of guns. Yep. And it was one man and not a team. Absolutely. Bump stocks, which speed up how quickly bullets can be fired, enable the shooter. Yep, and it was one guy and not a bunch of Saudis. This prompted then President Donald Trump to sign an order, an illegal order, by the way. We'll review a challenge to that order and hopefully defeat the NFA, but that's not going to happen. Hold on. Okay, this is actually wrong. The Biden administration argues, which have been banned since they allow a shooter to fire hundreds of rounds of bullets a minute with a single pull of the trigger. That's literally wrong. That's literally impossible. What a bump stock does is it allows you to rapidly actuate the trigger. So it is still 1 round per trigger pull. 1 round per single function of the trigger. It is still semi-automatic. This is a lie. This is literally a lie. This is the Washington Post is lying to you. It's literally a lie. 1 in 20 U.S. adults own at least one AR-15. I own 2. Doing my part. Manufactured in the past decade. Just as there is no excuse for the widespread availability of these weapons of war, it's called the Second Amendment. That's the excuse. There is no legitimate purpose for civilians to be able to fire so many rounds with one pull of the trigger. They can't. And there is a legitimate purpose. It's called the NFA, which allowed you to have a machine gun for $200. Sorry. Should uphold the Trump-era ban on bump stocks. No, they shouldn't. This is retarded. This is a lie. This is literally a lie. Literally a lie. Let's see if anyone in the comments called out that it was a lie. How long have we been going? It doesn't say. Probably a while. Ban handguns instead, and you'll save hundreds of times more human life. That's interesting. Wow. Okay. Well, at least it's being more genuine. Awesome. Works for me. Licensing registry system. Okay. Those Nordic countries are not pro-gun. No, the militia part. A well-regulated militia shall not be infringed. You fucking retard. I'm the militia, dumbass. Regulated just means well-armed. Idiot. This guy doesn't know anything. He's some hoity-toity desk jockey. Time for real... Wait, what? Time for real gun control. Licensing, registration, and insurance? Murder insurance is literally illegal. You cannot have USCCA membership in New York because of that. I'm pretty sure that could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's true. Let's see. Okay. God, I hope that's true. A nationwide domestic violence ownership ban. Oh, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Wait. Mental screening pre-purchase. This is retarded. Alright. I think this is everything. True number of undocumented immigrants. Excuse me? What the fuck is this? An invasion on your borders. Well, they think they stopped counting them, right? I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Is they just fucking there's more people getting around the counting. I don't know if that's true, but I'd imagine that would explain. Throw my mic around. What the fuck is this? Okay, whatever. Convicted in Paul Pelosi attack, yeah. Oh, thanks, Paul. Or Joe. Paul Manchin, Joe Manchin. Cool. Trump is not gonna do an abortion ban, by the way. All right, well, that's it. That's all they had to offer. I'm not swayed. Thanks, Reddit.